Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to my spiritual master, Bhakti Chaitanya Swami. He is a GBC for South Africa, East, West, Siberia and Estonia. I first met books distributors on the Green Market Square in 1994 in Cape Town, shortly after I started doing books. And since 1994, distributed roughly about 50,000 pieces of literature as a servant. I haven't always lived in a temple as a brahmachari, but I did manage to do some preaching and do traveling sankirtan and training others in Cape Town and around the country. I've been to Vrindavan, Mayapur with some devotees, one of which is the temple president in ISKCON Sanatan Vajvasi Prabhu. In this year I've done roughly 500 books since March. So we're very fortunate to be able to give Krishna consciousness to others in the form of books or prasad or harinam or even other types of preaching. But the special thing about books is that we're giving the whole philosophy, which is non-different to Krishna, in the form of a book that people can read and understand the philosophy. They're actually getting the Shastra like that. It's non-different. So when we talk about Prabhupada's books, it's actually Shastra. And Shastra is the ultimate Shabda authority to understand reality and the difference between reality and illusion. So yes, if one can actually be able to nicely, like a gentleman, present the books to somebody, at any time when he's shopping, one goes to public places in a decent way, like a gentleman with good qualities, that is good sadachar. It's explained that some people, devotees, preach, but they may not have the best qualities. Others may have very good sadachara qualities but don't preach. So the ideal preacher is actually has both, that is preaching and has good qualities. So always we present this in a very nice way. We're doing it as a general instruction of the whole parampara. Prabhupada is a Mahabhagavad Nityasira Rajakacharya. And in that sense, when we follow these instructions, then that's how we receive mercy and that's how we gradually go back to Godhead. The lotus feet of the spiritual master are the only way we can obtain pure devotional service. So, like myself, long ago, before I took to devotional service, I was actually, maybe I'm still shy, I don't know, but I'm used to talking to strangers for 20 years or so. One has to go out of one's comfort zone, even if one is not an extrovert person directly, but just go out like a gentleman and say, please take this book. We're giving you a means to end all suffering, which is actually true and real. How one can leave the cycle of karma, of suffering. The material world is a place of suffering, and until we come to a point where we actually see that material consciousness is generally suffering, if we do not see that alongside Krishna's Leela transcendence, if we do not see the nescience of material life, then we will be attracted by material life. So when we're presenting these books or preaching to people in general, to more fallen conditioned souls than myself, then we say that, look, this will help you to actually leave the cycle of karma and uncover pure love, which is the nature of every being. So yes, if you can, Prabhupada was told, if you have money, print books. Bhaktisiddhanta told Srila Prabhupada, if you have time, most valuable, not to waste this human form of life, just take a few books, get it from your local yatra, support them, double BBT pricing, or just buy books and just distribute for free somewhere, but do the books.
So what do you like the most about book distribution?
It's actually the highest compassion. So I would like to be compassionate. And that's look, I'm actually a fallen person because I'm not in Krishna's Leela. In a real sense, it's not something to laugh about. We're in conditional life until we go actually in Krishna's Leela. But it's the highest compassion. That's why, one reason. And also it's the instruction of the parampara. And my guru is following Srila Prabhupada's instructions. So in following those instructions, that's how we go back to Godhead.
So what do you say to devotees? What words of inspiration can you tell the devotees that are wanting to do books? Especially given that this year is the 125th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance.
For those, this is my just personal opinion. It's not a GBC position or anything like that. If you have extra Lakshmi, if you're a Grihastha, support brahmacharis, preachers, full-time devotees, temples. Invest into buying some books, supporting the local yatra, and distribute those books. Like last year, Sri Radha Radhanath came out number 10 in the world in some rating of books. Very good. The 30,000 target of 30,000 signs of self-realization was more than met, mainly by the Phoenix Yatra. So super great. Just take some books from your local yatra and distribute them. Go to public places when you're shopping, when your kids go to school. If you can get companies to actually sponsor, this bigger Lakshmi than individual Grihasthas, for example, then do it. Feel free, do it. Somebody has sponsored to me way over double BBT books. Someone one day came here, they shouldn't have been here because it's lockdown, but they managed to walk in the open gate, and they paid 2,008 Rand for about 600 Rands worth of double BBT books. So great, that helps the yatra, and books get distributed, and then there's further capital for more books to be bought by the yatra and to distribute them.
So personally, on this 125th appearance day of Prabhupada, what's your offering to Srila Prabhupada on a personal note?
I'm going to do more books, and I will access them where I'm going to be. And I'll also have some people, I have a small database personally that I stay in touch with people I've preached to and done books, given books to. Some of them will come forward in the future too to sponsor more books. And depending on where I am at that time, we'll just do more books. I'll keep doing books until I leave this body, and necessary in future lifetimes, if necessary, yes. Because in the next 10,000 years predicted in the Bhavishya Puran, the golden age is established, and one thing that will happen still is distributing Prabhupada's books in these 10,000 years. Anyway, let me digress. Hare Krishna.
So, in conclusion, you have been in Santon for a while, and you're moving on to different things in your life. So, any message to our community, our Santon community?
Just keep doing more books. Get more books. The youth group does do books. If you're young and you're professional or not, but if you are younger, get connected to Krishna Balaram Youth Group. They can access books for you. Speak to the temple president in ISKCON Center, Vajbasi Prabhu, who is very able and qualified, and he has some book stock as well. And he's also got further capital to get more books ordered from Shamananda Prabhu and Loka that have been managing a lot of the books and distributing them. Also, you can go walk into Govinda's and buy books there, or speak to any of the devotees of ISKCON Center in Yatra. But if you haven't done books, take some books and do them. You'll get Prabhupada's mercy, you'll experience spiritual pleasure, and you'll be exercising through the Parampara's instruction the highest compassion on living entities. We need to flood this planet with books. Up to 2014, the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust distributed about 50 million pieces of literature, something like that. But there are 8 billion people on the planet. So we've still got a long way to go, and just keep distributing those books. And someone will read it, someone will get it. It's going to sit and purify the space and ether wherever they are. But it's a serious mission that we need to do. Prasad is also a secret weapon. People taste that. But the thing about the books is the people getting the philosophy too. They're getting the philosophy, and to understand the philosophy is also very important.
Thank you, Prabhu. We appreciate your time you spent here in Santon and all the wonderful service that you've rendered. We really appreciate it, and we wish you all the future.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please distribute books.
Gauranga.